Welcome to BODHI Yoga Online. I'm Krista Cahill, and this morning we're going to do a vinyasa flow practice. This is Chris, and he will be demonstrating the asanas for me. So we're going to start on our backs. Go ahead and please come to your mat. If you have a couple blocks and a belt, you may want to have those handy, and you can just start with your legs in any position. So you could bring the feet together, knees apart. You could bring the knees together, feet apart. Simple Shavasana would actually be very acceptable. Choose any position with your hands that's comfortable. If you feel ready, you can close your eyes. Here in the beginning, just breathe naturally. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed as you inhale. And you're going to exhale all the breath out slowly until you reach the bottom of that exhalation. And then you'll take a big inhale through your nose. Open the mouth when you're ready. Let it out with a little bit of a sigh. Relaxing the diaphragm. And now engaging. Inhale all the way to the top of the breath. And then maybe you make a little pause. Sip in a little bit more inhale. When you feel ready, open your mouth. Let it go. And one more like that. So inhale as much as you can, filling it up, 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 up. Add a little bit more. Even when you feel very, very full, see if you can add a little bit more. And then open the mouth, push all the breath out. And you can straighten the legs forward, reach the arms overhead, stretch, elongate your spine. And now bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And let's take a couple breaths in Happy Baby. Grab your big toes or your outer heels. Spread the knees apart. You're going to feel an external rotation. Knees moving away from the shoulders. And just continue breathing naturally. You don't have to do any other type of choreographed pranayama. You can just observe the natural rhythm, flow of your breath. And release your feet flat onto the ground, knees bent upright. Place your right ankle across your left thigh. You can place your fingertips on the inside part of your right knee. And just very gently help the knee to externally rotate away from your shoulder. So the actual movement of the leg is happening from way deep inside the hip socket. Just imagine that. Outside of the leg, rolling away from your hip. And then if you want, pick up the left foot, hold the back of the left leg, bring the knees in a little bit closer, and just continue breathing. So observe how the breath starts this process of channeling and releasing the tensions held deep inside your body. Good, and now you're going to take your hands onto the back of your left thigh and you're going to straighten your left leg, bringing the heel into a flexed position, reaching up towards the ceiling. Continuing to still feel the right knee spinning away from your right shoulder. Pushing the left leg up away from the earth's pull. And then release your left foot down, release your right foot down, change sides, cross the left ankle over the right. Use your left fingertips to just gently rotate the knee away from your shoulder. Smooth, steady breathing. So each time you inhale, the diaphragm engages and moves towards your hips. See if you can imagine or even sense that actually happening each breath. And then when you feel ready, pick up the right foot, bring the knees a little bit closer so this bit of flexion will help increase the sensation. Continuous, slow moving breath. So when you breathe, it's not about taking large breaths. It's about just taking a normal sized breath, but slowing it down. So making it just a little bit more mindful and bringing your awareness to the breathing. You're going to bring your hands to the back side of your right thigh, so over the hamstring, and then flex your right heel, straighten the leg up for a couple breaths. You want to still feel the left knee spinning away from your left shoulder, the right heel being pushed upwards away from the socket of the hip. Inner shoulders, chest muscles as relaxed as possible. The breath is just really happening through the lower part of your respiratory system, so the diaphragm. It's not up in the chest, in the lungs. Moving that awareness down towards the base of your sternum, towards the side bottom ribs. And then release your right foot to the ground, release your left foot to the ground. Take both arms overhead and stretch. Take a big inhale here. On the exhale, crunch up, reaching your hands forward on either side of your thighs. So you're using your abdominals here. Stay in this position and lift your legs at a 45-degree angle, floating your toes apart from each other. Now bend your knees, set your feet back down, crunch a little higher, make sure you exhale all the breath out, and then inhale, arms reach overhead. So now at tempo. Exhale up, inhale, legs up. Exhale, feet down, crunch just a bit, and inhale, release. Exhale, crunch up. Inhale, add your legs. Exhale, press into your heels, lift, and inhale, release back. Exhale, up. Inhale, legs. Exhale, press into the heels, lift higher. And inhale, release. Now take both arms to the outside of the right thigh in a twist as you exhale all the breath out. Inhale, lift your legs. Exhale, press the feet, twist and crunch just a little more. And inhale, arms back through center. Left side, exhale, twist. Inhale, add your legs. Exhale, press the heels, twist. And inhale, arms back. In the center, exhale, crunch up. Inhale, add your legs. Exhale, press into the heels, lift your chest higher. Inhale, arms back. Right side, exhale, all the breath out, twist. Inhale, add your legs. Exhale, heels down, crunch and twist. Inhale, arms back. Left side, exhale, all the breath out. Inhale, add your legs. Exhale, press the heels, twist and crunch. Inhale, arms back. Center, exhale, up. Inhale, add your legs. Exhale, press the heels, crunch a little higher. Inhale, arms back. Last time to the right. Exhale, all the breath completely out. Then inhale, float your legs. Exhale, press the heels, twist and crunch. Inhale, arms back. Left side, last time. Exhale. Inhale, add your legs. Exhale, press the heels, twist and crunch. Inhale, arms reach back. In the center, last time, exhale all the breath out. Inhale, lift your legs and hold your legs for 5. Toes as spread as you can here. 4, 3, push the legs away from your hips. 2, and now you're gonna bring your heels down, hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, support your neck. You're gonna crunch up for the count of 10 beats, a little higher, 9, 8, so little pulses, 7, there you go, 6, 5, all the breath out each time, 4, 3, 2, crunch all the way up, see how high you can go, and then release. Arms back, legs straight forward, stretch one more time. Feel the length of your body growing from the inner spine towards the toes and fingers. And now you're gonna hug your knees, give yourself a little side to side massage. And then take it into the rocking horse from the hips all the way to the shoulders. You're gonna come up and you're gonna transition over onto your knees. Curl your toes under. And then set up your hands as you know you need to for your body. So maybe you need to take the hands and turn them slightly outwards. Okay, whatever you need to do in order to get your inner elbows completely straight. So the triceps are firm, firm, firm. Okay, and now you're gonna stretch one leg back into plank position and then the other. Now, keep in mind at home, if this is too much for you, you can always bring the knees down onto the ground. Okay, so draw as much as you can the forearms and wrists up as you push the hands down. So you're creating space in that little joint that separates your forearms and your hands, your wrist joint. Last 3, as much as you can, the hands push down, the chest draws up in between your shoulder blades. 2, and maybe you need to bend the knees a little bit, downward dog as you exhale all the way back, and you can walk the dog, bending one knee, letting the opposite heel stretch towards the ground. Okay, just kind of take this side to side as necessary. So, you know, when you find a sticky spot, maybe you take a couple extra breaths and you really get in there and try to release that energy. Okay, move your awareness around your body to the hips and lumbar, upper spine, shoulders, neck. You know, take an inventory. Good, and then when you're ready, go ahead and bring your feet all the way together so they're at the midline of the mat, big toes, heels touching. And then you're gonna reach your right leg all the way up and back. Okay, open up your hip, bend the knee, and take a couple breaths, stretch, breathe, and maybe you wanna do 2 little circles with your ankles. You can go one direction and then the other. In the bottom ankle, you can releve the heel up and down a few times, so stretching and releasing the back side of the ankle. Okay, and now you're gonna stretch your right leg straight back behind you. And you're gonna bring the space between your first and second toe, so the big toe and the second toe, to the back side of your left heel. And you're gonna use your toes to stretch the heel back as far as you can. Now keep that feeling of your toe stretching your heel back and come into plank position like this. So you're reaching the heel towards the wall behind you. And then at the same time, use the postural muscles along your side waist to stretch the spine forward, out of your legs, out of your hips for 3. Imagine somebody putting a hand on the crown of the head and you're pressing your head into their hand. 2, and downward facing dog. Good, you can bring your feet together, lift your left leg up when you're ready, open the hips to stack. Bend the knee, and again, you can circle the ankle. You have 2 directions, so just feel what's possible. You can also releve the right heel up and down if you want. Just explore, okay? Use your curiosity, use your awareness. And now straighten the left leg completely. Bring the first and second toe to the back of your right heel. Stretch your heel down first. And now keep your heel reaching as far away from you as you can. Bring your body forward into plank position. Okay, use the heel going back to an equal units of energy. Lift and move the sides of the spine forward. Even the crown of your head, reaching as far forward as your heel is going back. Last 2. And downward facing dog. You can separate your feet now a little bit wider than your hips, taking it to a more normal dog. And just use your feet to create a downward release of energy that helps the 4 sides of your legs to lift up. So the inside of your knees, the outsides of your knees, back of the knee, front of the knee, pushing upwards towards the hips. Last 2 breaths. And now lift your gaze up and walk your feet to your hands. So you're going to march up, elongate your spine as you inhale, and fold down to the earth as you exhale. So we're going to take a couple of these halfway lifts. Inhale, just halfway, elongate forward. Exhale all the way down. One more time. Inhale, elongate forward as much as you can. Keep that length and fold all the way down. Bend the knees if it's necessary. Press the inside edges of your feet, the inner heels, the big toes, the baby pinky toe, the outer edges of your heels. And see if you can imagine that the front part of your heel or the front part of your ankle is where you want to try to shift the sides or the center of your pelvis over. Notice how that gives your spine much more downward stretch. Last 2 breaths here. Equal to how much the feet push down. Draw the inside of your knees, thighs up a little bit higher. Last exhalation. Okay, and here you're going to ragdoll your spine. So let your arms and shoulders relax, and vertebra by vertebra, see if you can articulate, rounding the entire spine. And at the top, the postural muscles will push the crown of your head up. You can adjust, if you need to, your feet into a shape that really suits your Tadasana Samastitihi. Feel free to close the eyes if you want. Give your awareness to your breathing here in the beginning. See if you can expand the side, very most bottom ribs out. All the tension in the shoulders starting to release down through your fingertips. You feel a little bit more length between the ears and the shoulders at the top. And then again, same thing, bring your awareness towards your feet. Press the big toe and the outer heels equally, the baby toe and the inner heels. And now find that splittable joint, the pada bandha at the front of your heel. And see if you can bring the center of your pelvis over that point. Notice how when you push down into that point, the legs have more lift on all 4 sides. So it's not that you're pushing the knees back, it's that you're lifting the 4 sides of your knees and thighs up. As that happens, the sides of your pelvis might start to fly up, sides of the spine, and let that energy go all the way through the tops of your ears, creating elongation towards the ceiling. Last 3 breaths here. 2. Now externally rotate your arms all the way up at the shoulders. Reach out. As you inhale, go all the way up. Try to keep that lift, and then exhale if you need to. Bend the knees, fold into Uttanasana, forward fold position. Place your hands either on your shins or on the ground, Ardha Uttanasana as you inhale, and you're just going to march back into the top push-up position again, plank pose. Okay, take a very nice long breath in, the heels, thighs, hips go back, spine forward. And now think push up as you bend your elbows. So push your body up away from the floor as the elbows are bending. So you go slowly and with control all the way down, arriving on the yoga mat. Okay, release your toes back, come into baby bhujangasana, baby cobra pose. So Feel that your pubic bone is established on the mat. The legs are stretching back. Even the sacrum, the top part of your pelvis, releases away from the lumbar spine. Take another big breath in, pulling the sides of the body forward. As you exhale, release the forehead down. Curl under your toes. You can always do this on your knees if you need to. Otherwise, lengthen the legs to straight. Release the sacrum away from your lower back towards your heels and try to lift into chaturanga if you can. Plank on an inhale. Dog as you exhale. And take a couple big breaths. So if you need to separate the feet wider than the hips, you can always take those variations. When you look at your feet, spread your toes. Create as much opening at the soles of the feet as you can. This is where the energy comes from that moves up into the Sushumna, Ida and Pingala. Last two. Continuously moving your hips back as you look forward, bend the knees and march or jump if you're ready on an inhale. Find Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale all the breath out, Uttanasana. External rotation with the arms, come up, inhale, big breath. Exhale, hands release, Samastitihi. Arms external, inhale, go up, Urdhva. Open the arms wide, fold, exhale, Uttanasana. Now bend the knees if it's necessary, hands flat, inhale, look up, prepare. Float or step back, chaturanga or plank as you exhale. You can take cobra or upward facing dog, inhale, and downward facing dog as you exhale. Okay, spend a couple breaths, opening up your toes, bringing the energy from the feet onto all four sides of the legs evenly. As the legs push up, use the strength of your outer shoulders to draw the hips back away from the front of the mat. Last three. As the fingers drop and reach forward, palm of the hand pulls in the direction of your armpits. Two. Keep moving the hips back, look forward, finish the exhale, bend your knees as you jump. Inhale, crown of the head forward. Exhale, release to the big toes. Open the arms with external rotation. Inhale. Standing Samastitihi, Tadasana, exhale. Arms up, inhale, external rotation. All the breath out as you fold Uttanasana. Halfway up, inhale. March it or jump it back as you exhale. Inhale, cobra or urdhva. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Okay, take a couple breaths. See if you can feel how the two hands are interacting with the yoga mat evenly. All the knuckles have an even symmetrical amount of weight pressing down for 3, 2. Complete the exhale all the way. Bend your knees as you inhale, march or float. Exhale, crown of the head down. Externally rotate the shoulders. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, arms release down. Last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, all the way, hands to the earth. Bend the knees if necessary. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra as you inhale, and down dog as you exhale. So for those of you at home, if you ever need a little less intensity, you could always skip those vinyasas, the chaturangas and up dogs, and just simply step into downward dog. If downward dog feels like too much loading on your shoulders, you can always drop down onto your knees into child's pose. So feel free, take care of your body, make adjustments as you listen to what your body is saying. Last two. Lifting up your gaze, exhale, bend your knees, march it or jump it. Inhale, elongate, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Open the arms, inhale, up, 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 up. Tadasana, exhale, relax your arms down at your sides. Try to have that external rotation from way, way up. As far as you can imagine the arm attaching to your shoulder blade. So you're bringing the energy from the outside of the arm, even a little bit the back of the arm, towards your shoulder blade. Then at the same time, your shoulder blades are not crunching the spine, so you're trying to create a feeling of the shoulders pressing out. So the outer arms, shoulders hug in, the inner shoulders resist out equally. And see if you can feel that same work in your legs. So even if your feet are all the way standing together, the outsides of your legs create a container where the energy is contained in. And then from way, way up where your legs start in your hip sockets, imagine a slight resistance out where the energy of your inner legs is bright and pushing sideways from the midline. Now see if you can keep the whole containment of the left leg. We're going to come into tree pose vrikshasana. So with your right hand, reach down, pull your right ankle up, and point your toe as high as you can on your inner thigh. Okay, once you've placed your toe, then deposit the heel second. Okay, move the right knee forward as much as you need to get the right hip in line with the left hip. And then with that external rotation in your arms, circle your hands up above your head and feel that you're lifting your spine up as your left foot presses down. With each inhale, maybe you feel the sides of your pelvis drawing up off the sides of your thighs, sides of the spine drawing up. Maybe you can look up and bring your hands all the way to touch. Now, if your hands are touching, the inner elbows are straight. Take another big breath in, go up. Try not to lose any of this height as you exhale, lower your arms and your right foot, samastitihi. Okay, second side. When you feel ready, bring your left hand to your left ankle, point your toe as high as you can, and then you deposit the heel after. The outside of the right leg has a containing feeling, and your left foot is helping you to feel the inner leg resist against that. Okay, with that deep external outer arm position, reach your arms all the way up, lifting the spine, helping the shoulders to upwardly rotate towards the ceiling. And move your awareness away from the abdominals towards the back of your body. So when you inhale, the back side, the posterior ribs move away from your spine and up towards the ceiling, giving your lumbar tons of lift, tons of decompression. If you can keep the energy of the foot going down, the reaction is that the spine will go up so much you can look up. Maybe your hands touch with your inner elbows totally straight. Take another big breath, go up, 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 up. Don't lose any of that as you release. Exhale the arms, hands, foot down. Samastitihi, Tadasana position. Creating the feeling of being ready. That's what samastitihi is. That's the difference between samastitihi and Tadasana. Samastitihi should evoke a spark of attention that says, we're going to get ready to do something now. Keeping the external rotation in your arms as you inhale, lift your arms up. Maintain as much lift and upward energy as possible, and then move the top of your thighs back and down into chair pose. If your thighs happen to become parallel to the earth, then you can draw your sitting bones forward towards your heels. On your next exhalation, bring your belly ribs down to touch your thighs, fold, bringing the hips slightly forward over the center foot. Inhale as you elongate, the hands flat. Exhale, chaturanga, step or jump. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Okay, you're going to step your right foot forward between your hands, drop your left knee down into a low lunge position. Okay, point the toes. You could always put a little cushion or towel underneath your left knee, and then reach your arms up when you're ready. So feel again the same exact sensation as tree pose, right? You're drawing the sides of your pelvis up, the sides of your body up. From the outer corners of your shoulder blades rotating around towards the center of your chest, see if you can start to go up up, up. Maybe you go up so much your hands come together, your inner elbows are totally straight. And as you exhale, release your hands completely down. Curl your back toes under, and now you're gonna lift your knee and turn your back heel at approximately 45 degrees. Bring your hands onto your side hips and come upright with your torso. Okay, now you're gonna straighten both legs for a couple breaths. Try to maintain the weight on the inside edge of your front foot. So notice if you tend to roll to the baby toe edge of that front foot. The whole outside of the right leg has a containing energy. That will help you to keep the weight on the inside edge of your foot. And now draw the sides of your pelvis up. So from the four corners of the feet going down, try to lift the sides of your pelvis up. And now I want you to start to bend the knee. As the hips are lifting up, the right knee is going to start to come over the center of the foot. Imagine your sitting bone connecting to the heel of the front foot. So the more you press the heel down, the more the activity of the back groin engages. Okay, now take your arms overhead with external rotation. If it feels possible, move the breath into the posterior ribs so you lift the ribs up away from the kidneys and bring all that energy into your fingertips. Last breath, up, 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 and then exhale, plank position. Take a breath here in plank position and just go to down dog directly. Inhale, come back into plank pose. You're gonna bring your knees onto the ground, so we're gonna modify plank, point your toes away. Now draw the shoulder blades away from your ears and feel the front ribs, rather than going forward or towards the ground, they're drawing up into your body. So they're gonna completely disappear into the skin of your body. And as slowly as you can, you're gonna go to chaturanga and pause. Keeping the shoulder blades down away from your ears, straighten your arms again. Exhale, bend your elbows, pushing your body up as you come down. Straighten your arms, inhale. 2 more times, exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, straight arms. And last time, bend your elbows, hold here, shoulder blades away from your ears, forearms lift out of the wrists. This time lower down completely all the way onto your belly. Okay, now you're gonna take your left hand back and your right arm forward. The right arm is gonna be like a karate chop, so you're on the outer wrist. Okay, now lift your left leg and stretch it as far back as you can, and then reach through your right outer shoulder blade and reach your right arm forward in this cross diagonal. When you're ready, the sacrum releases away from your lower back. Your bottom front ribs, hip bones are magnetized together, and then when you're ready, you're gonna lift up with your head and see if you can bring your right bicep in line with your right ear. Last 3. Cross diagonal. The left hip pushes back, the upper right back pushes forward. 2. Stay as long as you can and exhale, come down. Bring your right arm back, bring your left arm forward. Reach through the right leg as far away from you as you can. Reach forward with the left arm as far as you can. When you're ready, bring yourself up into this little cross diagonal version of Shalambhasana. Feel that you can create length on that cross diagonal, so use the right lower back to push the right leg away from you. The outer upper left shoulder away from your right lower back. Last 2. And 1. Bring your right arm forward to match your left arm. Reach both legs back until your feet come off the ground. Feel both sides of your lower back pushing your legs back, and when you're ready, lift your arms, lift your head, and breathe for 5. Upper back going forward, lower back going back, separate. 3, 2, bend your elbows, place your hands by your chest, separate your feet, and bring your toes down. Cobra when you're ready into upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. So when you're ready, you can lift your left leg up on an inhale and step into a low lunge position, bringing the right knee down. So feel free to pad the knee if that's necessary. And take both arms, reach up. So when you get into this position, try to continue the feeling of lifting the sides of the pelvis. Breath into the back posterior ribs so you get that little feeling of the rib cage floating up out of the lumbar, maybe the outer corners of the shoulder blades turn towards the center sternum. Hands going together helps the elbows and the triceps to contain and firm the outer shoulders. Last big breath, feel your body grow taller. And as you exhale, release your hands down. Tuck under the back toes, lift the knee, and turn your back foot at approximately 45 degrees. Place your hands on your side hips, and when you're ready, come up with straight legs. And you're gonna stand for a couple breaths. Organize your energy. The outside of the left leg, from ankle to outer upper thigh, is firming in. So the weight on your inner left foot should be very established, equal to the weight on the outer foot. Use the four corners of both feet, pushing down to draw the pelvis up so it feels like it's flying up, up, up out of your legs. Keep as much of that as you can, and then you'll start to bend your front knee. Imagine the sitting bone connecting to your left heel, and the more you push your left heel down, the more the back of the groin lifts up, which means you can sit a little deeper. And now you can add the arms when you feel ready. So with an external rotation in your outer upper shoulders, you're going to use the feeling of the breath going back away from the bottom front ribs to the back ribs. Float, float, float all the way as high as you can. With the inner elbows completely straight, you can squeeze your arms together, hands touch, look up. Exhale, both hands down, just a plank position to start. Take an inhale. Down dog as you exhale. Inhale, come back, plank pose. Okay, now this time we're gonna do these same push-ups. You can have your legs straight, or you can go back to bent knees, pointed toes. So as you exhale, you're just simply gonna push your body up and bend your elbows, pause in chaturanga. Straight arms again if you can, come back up, inhale. Again, as you exhale, bend your elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, back up, two more. Exhale, shoulder blades away from the ears, the belly goes up to the ceiling. Straighten your arms, inhale. Last time you're gonna hold chaturanga, bend your elbows, draw the forearms, wrists up, press the hands down, and lower all the way down to the earth. Okay, now you're gonna reach your arms forward over your head, but the palms are gonna be flat this time, so you're pushing the hands into the ground. Reach your legs back, keeping the feet on the ground this time. Okay, you're gonna press into all 10 toenails, reach the sacrum away from the lumbar spine, and see if you can press your hands down so that the inside of your elbows start to engage, which means they'll lift away from the earth. So can you keep the inside of your elbows straight and now bring your head up, and you're coming into like a little mini cobra with your arms straight. As much as you can feel your front ribs going back in the direction of your hip bones coming forward in the direction of your bottom ribs, can you bring your ears back? So that doesn't mean lift your chin, it means draw the ears back towards your heels. Last three. You're working the muscles of the upper back between the shoulder blades, 2, and release all the way forehead to the ground. Place your hands alongside your side body ribs. When you're ready, cobra or upward dog, inhalation. And exhale, downward facing dog, taking a couple breaths. So open up the toes, the feet as wide as you can, and breathe for 3. So as the back of the legs start to lift energy up, you might even feel your sitting bones slightly lifting towards the ceiling. Keep moving the sacrum back away from the lumbar as that happens. 2. The frontal hip bones fly in the direction of your floaty ribs. Bend your knees. On your next inhale, march it or jump your feet to your hands. Elongate into Ardha. Exhale down, Uttanasana. Move the hips back and down, chair pose, inhale. Standing Tadasana, exhale. Samastitihi, release your arms down. Shift your pelvis slightly forward. Soft peripheral gazing. So at the same time as the arms go up, move the thighs back and down into chair pose. That's an inhalation. Exhale, release the hands, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha, stretch. Exhale, march it or jump it to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Step the right foot into Warrior One, the left heel approximately 45. Just a single breath all the way up. Inhale. Hands down. You can go to Down Dog or Chaturanga. Let your body tell you what it needs. Inhale, Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale, Down Dog. Immediately, when you're ready, left foot forward, turn the right heel. Coordinate your inhale with the rising of the arms, gaze. Exhale, hands down. Slow motion and with control, Chaturanga. Inhale. And exhale, all the breath out, releasing the hips straight back away from your hands. Okay, and you're breathing. So if you can imagine that the front floating ribs, frontal hip bones are magnetized together, you're trying your best to do that and to lengthen the spine at the same time. So both. It's both, not just one. The elongation of the hips back, the crown of the head forward, does not disturb the containment of the front ribs, bottom hip bones. Last two. When you're ready, lifting your gaze, bending the knees. When it's an inhale, you jump or march your feet to your hands. When it's an exhale, release the crown of the head down. Bend your knees for chair, inhale. Tadasana, exhale. Samastitihi. One more, just like this. Bend the knees, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, elongate. Jump it or step it, exhale, all the breath completely. Inhale, Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale, Down Dog. Same exhale, step the right foot, turn the left heel. Inhale, hands down, Chaturanga or Down Dog, you choose. Inhale. Exhale, same exhale, place the left foot front, right heel spinning. Inhale all the way. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, Cobra or Urdhva. Exhale, Adho Mukha. And again, regulating your breath, recovery breathing here. So containing the outer forearms just above the outer wrist. The outer upper arms so you feel your elbows have no bend at all. They're completely straight. Now try to use that containment, and if you can keep that slightly, you're pressing the inner shoulders, the muscles of your inner chest out against your straight contained arms. Last breath in. As you exhale, bend the knees. Jump it or step it. Inhale, float. Exhale, crown of the head down. Chair pose, sit as low as you can. And stand up into Tadasana. Exhale, hands at your side. From as high up as you can imagine, the back of the arm, the outer arm, rotates towards your shoulder blades. And at the same time as you feel those external muscles firming, the muscles of your inner shoulders, like the muscles between your shoulder blades, for example, they press out, away from the spine, creating space, decompressing the spine. Last three. 2 and 1. You're going to separate your feet apart, hip distance or maybe a little bit wider apart. Bring your hands onto your hips. As you inhale, lift the spine up out of your pelvis. Exhale, move your chest forward, fold all the way. Grab your big toes for Parangushtasana. Holding on to the big toes, lengthen again your spine, inhale. And exhale, the crown of the head straight down. So see if you can, even if you need to bend the knees, distribute the weight on your feet in a way that gives you that sense of the hips being able to slightly shift forward towards the center of your foot. The more that you bring the weight of the hips forward, the closer the crown of the head will come down towards the big toes. So it's your last 3 breaths here. 2. Inhale, elongate your arms. Exhale, Padahastasana, releasing the wrists. Press your toes into the wrists again. Take another inhale, lengthen. Drop the head completely down as you exhale. Okay, and this is going to challenge, again, just that sensation of going forward with your hips over the center of your foot. The spine is releasing down, and just a very small amount, without tension, the inner shoulders lift up as the head goes down. Last 2. Again, inhale, look up. Hands float to your hips as you exhale, bringing the elbows in as you stand up, and then march or jump your feet, Samastitihi. Bring your fingertips in front of your chest, the elbows as high as your shoulders. You're going to keep the hips moving forward this time as you bend the knees, and you're going to jump, skimming your feet out 70 centimeters, facing towards the right edge of the mat. So we're going to do warrior 2. So you might need, if you're a taller person, 75 or 80 centimeters. Okay, we're going to turn the left toes in at a 15 degrees angle. Turn and lift your whole right front foot and externally rotate the leg as deep inside the hip as you can. Draw the sides of the pelvis up, and then as you exhale, you're going to bend your front knee down. Okay, now I want you to rotate your palms open towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, lift your arms up over your head and straighten your front leg at the same time. Now as you exhale, you're going to open your arms and slowly, with resistance, bend your front knee. As you inhale, you're going to straighten the arms and legs and reach up. As you exhale, you're going to slowly press the air down and sit into 90 degrees. You can lower your arms all the way. There you go. And one more time. Inhale, straight legs, straight arms, reach up. Keep your pelvis drawing up. As you slowly bend the knee, you're going to lower your arms down into Virabhadrasana 2. Now keep your upper shoulders in external rotation and just turn only the palms over to face towards the earth. Open the inner shoulder blades as the tricep muscles lift into the upper arms. Last 3. 2, the right sitting bone connected to the right heel as you push the foot into the earth. And keep your arms the same. Straighten your legs. Take an inhale. Turn your feet to the second side as you exhale. Again, bend your front leg, resisting gravity. So you feel like you're going up even as you're allowing your hips to go down. Now rotate your palms open towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, lift your arms, lift your legs to straight. Slowly go down as you exhale. So there is a feeling of moving with resistance. Slowly inhale, press the earth away. Draw the sides of the spine, pelvis up. Keep the up as you go down on the exhalation. Again, inhale, resist, pull juice all the way through your feet into your fingertips. Slowly lower your arms and pelvis. One more time. Go up, up, up. How tall can you get as you inhale? Kneecaps lifting, arms lifting. And now exhale, bend your knee. We're going to hold this round. You're going to keep the external rotation at your shoulders and just turn your thumbs, palms down. Feel that the outside of your left knee is drawing slightly back to the top left thigh. The top left thigh is drawing slightly back towards your outer right heel. Can you keep that feeling and sit a little deeper? Last 2. And 1, straight legs. And this time you can bring your hands to your hips, turning your feet to a parallel shape. Okay, so now we're going to do Parshvakonasana. So you might need a little less distance. So I would say probably at the maximum 73 to 75 centimeters. Turn your left toes in at 15 degrees. Turn your right toes, leg all the way out into external rotation, 90 degrees. Okay, draw the sides of your pelvis out of your feet. So it's that, again, feeling of the 4 corners of the feet pressing and the legs pulling energy up. Okay, Now, you're gonna open your arms parallel. Try to keep yourself in an even position in the sides of the waist, and then you're just gonna bend the knee to 90 degrees slowly. Okay, now, without reaching forward with the right side of the waist, you're gonna draw the outer upper right thigh back to the left heel and place your hand down on the outside of your right foot. You can be on fingertips or you could also use a block. When you feel ready, the top shoulder is gonna externally rotate maximum, and then you're gonna upwardly rotate the shoulder blade overhead, creating side angle, Utthita Parshvakonasana. So the sitting bone of the right hip, magnetizing towards that right heel. The frontal hip bones, magnetizing with your bottom frontmost floaty ribs. Use the top arm and spinal elongation against what's happening in those 2 points of containment. Some of you can add the bottom arm and extend both shoulders into an external rotation for 3, for 2. Come upright with your torso straight and both legs reach high to the sky, inhale, and then lower your hands to the hips as you exhale. Turn your feet parallel, and then you're gonna turn your toes on the right side at about a 15-degree angle. Turn your left leg 90 degrees, open your arms parallel, facing towards the left. Try to keep the 2 sides of your waist even, okay? So you're not gonna reach forward with the left side waist. You're gonna just stay in the center and bend your front leg to 90 degrees if it's possible. Now, don't think about reaching forward with the side of the waist. Just draw back with the top of the left thigh towards the right heel and bring your left hand down to the outer heel or block on the floor outside your foot. Externally rotate the left shoulder as much as possible. Stretch Utthita Parshvakonasana. The left sitting bone, so even though the top of the left thigh is reaching for that back outer heel, the sitting bone, which is a different part, because that's pelvis versus leg, is going forward. So we're moving in 2 directions. You're gonna feel the frontal hip bones flying up, connecting, magnetizing with the bottom front floaty ribs. That containment will give you the stability, if you want to add the bottom arm to it. So the 2 sides of your waist are actually perfectly even. Last 3, last 2. Keep your arms up, bring your vertical torso up over your hips, straighten your legs, and lower your hands onto your side hips. Turn your feet into a parallel position. Good, now reach your arms out parallel, and you're gonna do internal rotation with your shoulders, other way. There you go. Bring the arms back behind you, bend your elbows, and come into reverse prayer position. If reverse prayer doesn't work, just make 2 fists and press the top of your fist together. So now we're gonna turn the feet and pelvis towards the back of the mat. So you're gonna lift the left toes and rotate them in about a 45 degrees angle towards the back of the mat. Turn your right foot all the way until it's pointing directly to the back of the mat. Keep your back foot leg as it is and rotate as much as you can the right hip around. It's not going to necessarily be square for everyone. Draw the frontal hip bones up, up, up as you inhale, and then go forward with the spine as you exhale, pyramid Parshvakonasana. Bring your awareness to the inside edge of that front foot. So the outer leg is like a wall of contained energy. That's where you feel the weight falling on the big toe, inner heel evenly. Last 3. You can bring the back foot a little closer, Chris. There you go. 2. It's from that part where the belly, frontal ribs, and hip bones meet. As you inhale, come all the way up. Please keep your arms the same. Rotate to face the front part of the mats. Once your right toes are in at about a 45 degrees angle, so you can lift up your right toes and then turn your left leg to point to the front of the mat. It doesn't have to be heel to heel, although that would be sort of the maximum closeness of your feet. You're pulling up from the feet, the pelvis, and then going forward. So imagine we put a big bolster at the top of your left leg and you had to lift your body, pelvis up and over that cushion. The more the feet produce a four-corner, even downward root, the four sides of the legs will draw up. Can you let the pelvis literally launch or ollie up off your thighs and go forward? Last two. And press the feet into the earth to come all the way up, vertical position. Bend your left knee, step to the front of the mat, and now free your shoulders and release arms into external rotation. Good, you're gonna feel that stretch here. Let's take it through one sun salute A. Inhale, arms reaching up. Keep the legs growing tall. As you exhale all the breath out, fold crown of the head straight down. Inhale, elongate. March it or jump it as you exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. And take a couple breaths here. Organize your hands and feet. Breathe in a way that helps you create space and elongation in the spine while containing those free roaming front ribs and hip bones. So for some of us, it's that containment we need to focus on, and for others, the containment is easy and it's the length. So which one do you need more? Last two. Look up, all the breath out. Exhale as you bend the knees. Then you jump or step as you travel on the inhale. Land in Ardha. Exhale, deepen Uttanasana. With straight legs, open your arms, press the floor away, reach, lift everything up out of your feet. Keep as much height as you can. Hands release down, Samastiti. Okay, now you're gonna bring your right knee into your chest. So the right hip is in deep flexion. Okay, you're gonna reach with your right first two fingers on the inside of the leg and hold your right big toe. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Okay, Uttita Hasta Paramgushtasana. Keep the left leg contained and start to slowly push the right hip, thigh, eventually heel forward away from you. The leg may not go all the way straight. Okay, now take a big inhale. You're gonna lift your belly up and you're gonna fold your body forward and you're gonna try to bring your chin onto the knee of the right leg. And you're gonna hold here for 3. Good job. Outer left leg is containing you. 2. Come up slowly to the vertical position on an inhale. Now B position, open your leg to the right as you exhale. If you have the balance, you change your gaze, bringing your chin in line with your left shoulder, looking away from your right thigh. You're pushing the right sitting bone in the direction of the right heel. The left sitting bone is staying in line with the left heel. Last 2. 1, come back to the center. Now take your hands and interlace your fingers behind your right knee and straighten the leg all the way out. So you're pushing the right sitting bone, right heel away from you towards the front of the mat. In opposition of that, the top part of the left leg is resisting back. Keep your right leg as it is. Transfer your hands to your hips, elbows parallel for 3. Push the leg away from you, standing tall in Tadasana 2, and release foot to the earth and take a moment. Okay, so prepare the right standing leg in Tadasana. And when you're ready, bring your left knee towards your chest. First 2 left fingers, thumb hooking the big toe. Okay, start to push your left sitting bone, thigh forward as the right leg resists back. You might not be able to straighten the leg all the way, that's okay. Push down with your standing foot to lift the pelvis up, and then you're gonna fold over, seeing if you can bring your chin towards your left knee for 3. 2, meditate on pushing your right inner foot down. Come slowly back to a vertical position as you inhale. B position as you exhale. Open the left leg. Maybe you shift your gaze. Top of the outer right thigh, like a horseshoe, is coming around behind you towards your left heel. The left sitting bone is pushing the left leg away from the hip socket. So you're going sideways, like you're shooting the leg out. There you go. Look forward, bring the leg slowly back to center. This time, interlace your fingers behind the back of the left knee. Try to straighten the leg. Push the leg on the left side forward, the right upper thigh back. It's doing a big headstand on the ceiling, the feeling in your spinal muscles, and now transfer your hands onto your hips, elbows parallel for 3, 2, and release, foot to the ground, Samastiti. Okay, now with both hands, you're gonna reach down and hold your right ankle. The right knee is you're gonna stay upright. You're gonna lift your right foot and hold your right ankle. There you go, okay. So you're going to take your right arm on the inside of your leg and hold the outside of your ankle. So from behind. Yeah, there you go. And then you're going to hold the foot, the big toe and pinky toe with your left. Okay, and you're just going to try to feel the left knee rotating away from the right side of the mat, towards the front of the mat, bringing your heel as close to the pubic bone as you can. Okay, now keep your left hand as it is, and if your heel is touching the pubic bone, you can release the right arm around behind your back into internal rotation and hold your left elbow. The more the right leg rotates the knee away from your right shoulder, it will start to eventually release down, and you're going to be coming into Ardha Padmasana, half lotus position here. The outer left leg has that containing quality. The sides of the pelvis, spine fly up, last 2. And release, bring your right foot down, stand in Tadasana. Establishing that grounding in the right foot. When you're ready, lift your left foot, hold the outer ankle. The right hand holds the big toe pinky. Bring the heel as close to your pubic bone as you can. And see if you can rotate the knee forward away from your shoulder on the left side. Okay. If the heel is contacting your pubic bone, release the left arm behind your back, hold your right elbow. Press into the standing foot. It's doing a very strong Tadasana. You're bringing the energy up so much that the pelvis spine is going up, up, up energetically through the crown of the head. Last 3. Even as the left knee goes down, the side of the body resists up out of that leg. 2. And when you're ready, release. Bringing your foot down, external rotation with your arms into Dasana for a few breaths. So gather, compose your energies. And again, we're going to take it through Asana. Inhale, external rotation, reach your arms up. Open the arms, exhale, fold all the breath out. Inhale, elongate. Jump it or step it back. You can take a vinyasa as you exhale. Stay at your own breath rhythm. Inhale when you're ready. And we'll meet in down dog as you exhale. Now you're going to look towards your hands and you're going to jump directly into chair pose. So when your feet land, your knees will stay bent. And you're going to bring your arms up over your head. And here we'll take 5 breaths in Utkatasana. 1, if you can, rotate the outer shoulders around. 2, inner elbows straight, look up. 3, 4, and hands down without straightening the legs. Chaturanga, direct, step or jump. Inhale, Urdhva. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Step the right foot into Warrior 1, turn your left heel, come all the way up. Okay, now you're going to straighten your front leg, bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Lift your frontal hip bones, sides of the pelvis, inhale. Try to keep your back foot pressing exactly the same, and against that back leg resisting, bend your front knee. If you can lean forward, you're going to lengthen forward over your spine, and then keep that length and twist. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. If you feel like your shoulder can come down, you can bring your hand down and right arm up. Externally rotate the top right arm, shoulder, and reach overhead into Parivrita, revolved, Parshva Konasana. So even as that left leg is stretching back with the same energy as you do in Shalabhasana, the frontal hip bones are flying forward towards your bottom front ribs. And take it for these last three. Right sitting bone connecting with your right heel as your right heel pushes. 2. And release your hands all the way down. Step it back into a plank as you inhale. Chaturanga as you exhale. Cobra inhale or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot steps forward, right heel flat. Inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana. And now straighten your front leg and lower your hands to your heart center. Frontal hip bones, pelvis lift up. Establish the back leg so it's reaching way back as you bend the front knee, if you can, 90 degrees. Lean forward, get as much length away from that back leg as you can, and then you're going to turn on the axis of your spine. Your right elbow or shoulder outside the knee. Connect your awareness to that feeling of your back leg. So it's stretching, it's doing hip extension behind you. And then you're separating and drawing the frontal hip bones into your belly, into those front floating ribs. The left sitting bone has this feeling of coming underneath you towards the front left heel. Here's your last 3. You can externally rotate the top arm. Take it overhead if you did that on side 1. 2. And release your hands down. Top of the push-up. Inhale. Chaturanga. Exhale. Up dog. Inhale. And down dog. Exhale. You're going to lower down onto your knees. Keep your toes tucked under. That's it. Sit on your heels, come into the upright position. Okay, you're going to reach your arms forward out in front of you. Externally rotate your shoulders so the palms are facing up. Now bend your elbows 90 degrees and frame your knees with your inner elbows. So you're going to place your elbows on the outsides of your knees. Continue with your forearms exactly as they are. Just turn the palms down so now the palms are flat on the yoga mat. Feel the shoulders resist back away from your fingers as you lift your knees up and you're coming into dolphin pose, Bhuja Svanasana. Bend the knees as much as you need to. So you're trying to close the gap between your thighs, belly, ribs, right? So bend your knees as much as you need to and see if you can actually get your thighs to come up by your belly ribs but without the shoulders collapsing forward. Last 3. Feel even the hamstrings lifting away from the back of the knee so the sitting bones can slightly tilt upwards. 2. And child's pose. For a couple breaths, just point your toes, let your arms, shoulders rest and release. And when you're ready, downward facing dog, stretch your arms forward, curl the toes under, and as the hips draw back away from your shoulders, slowly pull the legs up out of your feet, pressing down. Breathing. And when you're ready, you're going to land your right foot forward between your hands. Okay, and this time you're going to bring your back knee all the way down onto the ground. Point your toes, reach your arms up, low lunge again. So this time, interlace your fingers completely, invert your palms towards the ceiling. Move the outer shoulder blades around towards the center of the chest, but at the same time, see if you can create that lift in your spine so the postural muscles are engaging. Now, if you can keep your front ribs as discreet as they are here and start to bring the arms back by your ears, Feel that that happens because the shoulder blades move around towards the sides, but then they lift from the sides of the body up, pushing your arms higher for 3. If you can, not by lifting the chin, but by drawing your ears back, you can look up, 2, and release your hands down, either side of that front foot. Okay, so now you're going to take your left hand as it is flat, right arm back, and you're twisting to grab the foot of the left leg. So you're stretching the left quadricep. Yeah, of course. Yes, it's always good to have a little cushion there. Okay, and when you get to this place, you want to manage the 2 elements. The hip, the leg is extending back, but the pelvis, the frontal hip bones, are still containing energy flying up. There you go. See if you can do all of that and feel, again, the ears slightly coming back in line with the shoulders. Here you're going to work the upper back spine, opening the shoulder blades, but at the same time engaging the upper back. Last big breath in. And then as you exhale, release your back foot. And you're going to bring your left foot out towards the right, your right foot out towards the right edge of the mat and your right hand inside. Now you can stay here or you can come down onto your elbows. Okay, if you need blocks under the elbows, grab some blocks or elevate yourself up on some cushions. Breathe through the center body, opening from the inside out, filling the container that you've created on the outside part of your body. Last 2. And 1. You're going to walk your hands up, completely palms flat. Lift your back knee, curl your toes under so your back leg is straight. And now you're going to bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand. So we're coming into a malasana squat. Feel free to put something underneath your hips if you need it. So you could use a couple blocks if you needed that. Again, what you're going to feel is that the inside part of your upper leg is resisting out, away from the midline. The outside part of your leg is your container. It's hugging in. And now with the exhalation, see if you can create what's called the scoop, where it feels like you're dragging your sitting bones forward underneath you. Maintain that feeling of the frontal hip bones flying up, and then see if you can bring your ears back in line with your shoulders. Last 3, 2, and bring your hands down. Lift your hips all the way up. You're going to heel toe your feet together, and you're going to come into now a different variation of malasana. So you're going to lift your heels up and bring your hips down into a squat. Separate your knees out wider than your shoulders, and then place your hands flat on the ground. So the hands are going to be approximately shoulders distance, maybe a little wider if you have a carrying angle. Okay, now try to keep that feeling of the scoop, so your sitting bones drawing underneath you, so that really closes the gap between your frontal hip bones, bottom front ribs. Now, when you're ready, you're going to close your knees around the outsides of your upper arms, and you're going to start to come forward into crow pose, Bakhasana. So the more you can resist your shoulder blades back away from the ears, the more you're going to be able to lift your spine and engage the upper back. Try to keep the lower back rounded while engaging and lifting the upper back. Last 3, 2, if you know how to go to Chaturanga, jump as you exhale or step back to plank. Inhale, cobra or upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Good. When you're ready, you're going to place your left foot forward between your hands. Bring your back knee down. Maybe you need a little padding, so you know we're going into the quadricep stretch next. Point your toes, and then when you're ready, take your arms all the way up over your head. If you can remember, you're going to change up the crisscross of your fingers and invert your palms. So you're looking for the inner elbows to be completely straight here. As you really crisp up those inner elbows, move the outer shoulder blades around towards the center of your chest. The shoulder blades are not only moving around, but now they're lifting up, pushing your arms higher. The amount that you can maintain your frontal hip bones, ribs together is also going to be the same amount that your arms can start to go back. Without lifting the chin, move your ears back. Maybe that allows you to look up. Stretch, stretch, stretch as you inhale. Exhale, both hands down. You're going to lift up your left hand when you're ready for the right ankle, and you're creating that little quadricep stretch. Hold the outside of the foot. Yeah, there you go. The two shoulder blades are still releasing away from the back of your neck. Notice if that makes it difficult for you to then bring your ears back in line with your shoulders. There you go. As the frontal hip bones fly up, it's going to make the spine have to work a little bit more. So you're really engaging the postural muscles. Last two. And release. Bring your hands down. You're going to open up your left foot to the left and bring your hands on the inside into lizard pose, lower down onto your forearms or blocks. Take a few moments here, just breathe. Each and every breath, you do have an opportunity to create a little of that inner body brightening and resisting out into the containment of your outer body. And now you're going to come up with your hands flat, curl your back toes under, straighten your back leg for a moment, and then walk your right foot to the outside of your right hand into Malasana. Bring your elbows inside your knees. Take a couple breaths here. See if you can create that scooping action in the pelvis, which brings you into a backward rotation. Now, against the lower back, staying in this round shape, you're trying to work the muscles of your upper spine so that the ears actually come back and land over your hips. Try not to lift your chin to do that, but create that feeling of stacking the head above the pelvis. Last breath in. And then hands down, hips up, heel toe your feet to the center of the mat, and you're going to do the tiptoe variation of Malasana, bringing the knees out and your hips down towards your heels. Round your lower back, and then when you're ready, see if you can even bring your forearms, your elbows onto the ground. So your knees are now really high on your outer upper arms. The inside of your legs are as close to the body as you can get them. Okay. And now try to bring your elbows in line with your toes if that's possible. So you're really wedging the upper humerus bone against your lower tibias. Now look forward without at all leaving that feeling of lift in your lumbar. Start to advance the pelvis forward against your arms, resisting back, so the shoulders resist back. And then you're going to come forward if you can and up into Bakasana. So drag the pelvis against your arm bones. Use the feeling of the hands going down, the forearms lifting up for 3. As much as the lower back rounds and brings the sitting bones underneath you, can you keep the ears even with the shoulders 2? If you know how, you jump back or you step into plank. Inhale, cobra, and exhale, downward dog. So take a couple breaths in child's pose, lower your knees, point your toes, and let your shoulders and arms relax. Very good. When you're ready, you're going to reach your arms forward and downward facing dog again. And step your right foot forward all the way between your hands. Okay, you're going to lower your back knee down, completely point your toes. You could always place a block on the inside of your left ankle, and now move your hips back and sit on that block or sit on the mat to the inside of your ankle. Okay. Now you're gonna bend your right knee and you're gonna hold your right foot and extend your leg up as much as you can. Variation on Kranchasana. Okay. So you're pushing as much as you can, the leg away from you. Okay. Draw the frontal hip bones up, but at the same time extend and lift the spine. And last 3, 2, and 1. Now place your right heel in front of your right sitting bone on the floor with the knee bent in the upright position. Okay. You're going to lift your left arm into a vertical position with the external rotation in the shoulder. You could always bring a block behind you for your right fingertips. Take a big breath in. And now turn and bring your outer left shoulder to the outside of your right knee. And you can stay here for a couple breaths. So thinking of the spine lifting up, and from that length, you can turn deeper on the axis. So you're moving your left side of your navel towards the back of the mat. Last 3. 2. 1. Look forward first as you inhale. Exhale, release the twist. Now you're going to take your right leg straight out in front of you. We're going to do Trian Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lift both arms up. Think of going up, up, up as much as you can, and then as you exhale, you're going to reach forward. Do your best to resist rounding the spine. Hold your foot, or you can use a yoga strap if you need to. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, stretch the crown of the head as far forward as possible. Bringing as much length into the upper spine as you can. Feeling that your lower spine has maintained some of that Bakasana feeling. Last 3. 2. 1. Now reach your arms forward, and if you can, use the postural muscles to bring both arms all the way up in line with your ears as you come to a vertical, and then release your arms down. You're going to bend your front knee and come forward into the lunge position, lifting your hips away from that block. Curl your back toes under, straighten the back leg, and come into plank position. Okay. On an exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, downward dog. When you're ready, lunge your left foot between your hands. Right knee down, pointing the toes, and you can, if you want to, place a block to the inner ankle heel. And then just walk your hands back slowly. Good. Hold the left foot with both hands when you're ready. So we're just going to do a little variation on Kranchasana. You can start to lift up and push the leg away from you. So against that, you're going to definitely feel that the frontal hip bones, ribs will stay connected, but can you then engage the muscles on either side of the spine, giving you that feeling of lifting out of the sitting bones. Last 3, eventually the ears, they go back. It's not that you lift the chin, but you're pushing the head back and the leg forward at the same time. Last breath in. And now bend your knee and place your foot so the heel is in line with your left sitting bone. Okay, you can rotate your left shoulder back and bring your fingertips to that block. Take your right arm up, and you're going to come into an external rotation with the right shoulder. Get as much up as you can. Keeping that upward mobility, rotate around the midline and bring your shoulder, elbow outside your knee. Okay, and you're just going to create a nice feeling of lifting up the spine out of your sitting bones, and then when you have that space, turning deeper on the axis of your spine. Last 3. 2. Look forward, take an inhale, and exhale, release. Trian Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana, extend forward. Okay, take your arms all the way up. Again, it's external rotation, lifting the pelvis up, and then over the leg to go straight out as far as you can If it's possible, you're holding your foot. Again, take a little bit more initiative to lift your body up and go forward as far as you can on the exhalation. Breathing. Each time you breathe, you're creating a little bit more space. And now extend your arms forward. Try to keep your arms in line with your ears and reach all the way vertical. And as you exhale, release your hands down, re-bending the left knee into a lunge. You're gonna walk your body forward, curl your back right toes, and step into a plank position here. So from plank, you're gonna lower all the way down onto the yoga mat completely. Okay, now bend your knees, place your hands on the tops of your ankles, right underneath your toes. There you go. Spread your toes around your pinky fingers. Open your toes as wide as you can. The first thing you want to do is lift your legs. So you're going into hip extension. Okay. Then after the legs have lifted up completely, now bring the ears up. And if you can, without lifting your chin towards your forehead, you're bringing your ears back all the way towards your heels. See how much you can keep the bottom front floaty ribs, hip bone connection. And yet you're antagonizing that stability with the engagement, the lift of your spine from the ears all the way through your upper back. Last 3, 2, release your forehead down. Let your legs relax, turn your head to one side, and take a couple moments and breathe. And turn your head the other way, take a couple breaths. So again, you're just letting yourself absorb. This is the final stage of the practice, when you experience, when you listen, when you absorb the energy, the information. And we're going to do it one more time. Dhanurasana, bow pose. Place your hands around the top part of your ankles, right underneath your toes. Spread your toes around your pinky fingers. So the pelvis is your foundation. The legs will lift away from the pelvis, pushing down. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring that first vertebra between your ears up. Working and articulating through that upper back spine. So you're lifting little by little higher for 3. Feet are the star of the show, so you're opening up the very center of the sole of the foot. 2. And release forehead to the ground. Release your feet back, and you're going to press into child's pose from here. So when you're ready, hips on heels. Relax your shoulders again. And stretch your arms forward and take a couple breaths to come up and prepare for downward facing dog. Any way you can transition through to a seated position, you can bend your knees and jump through, or you could lower your knees and swing your feet around. Very good. Okay, Dandasana. Go ahead and flex your feet, elongate your legs out on the mat in front of you, bring your hands by your hips. You're going to bring your chin straight forward, so this engages the muscles alongside your neck, and then you're going to bring your chin parallel. It will not touch the sternum, but it will hover just a few centimeters in front. You're gazing down at your navel center, Nabhi Chakra, and you're breathing for 3, 2, 1. Bring your chin parallel. Externally rotate your arms. Reach your arms up. Lift your side body up, up, up. And as you exhale, go forward. Hold the outer edges of your feet, or use a yoga belt. Again, inhale. Press through your sitting bones. Lift. And lengthen as far forward as you can. Coming down. Breathing. Inhale, look up. Reach your arms forward. If you can, bring the arms by your ears. Come all the way vertical lift. And then arms release down as you exhale. BODHI Ohana. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Hold on to the baby pinky toe edge of your foot. Inhale, lift your spine up. And now go as far forward as you can on the exhalation. Try to keep as much length in your spine as you can. So you will feel the sitting bones, the two bony protrusions at the base of your pelvis pushing down evenly. The sides of your lower back lifting up and over your legs. And inhale, come up, and then you're gonna help your knees come together. Use the assistance of your hands, keeping your inner legs soft. Good, you're gonna lie down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little massage, right, left. Now take your left foot flat on the ground, right leg vertical to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh and flex your foot, reach your heel up. Good. You can keep your left leg as it is or straighten your left leg on the ground. So the objective is to take not just the left knee to the ground, but the whole back side of your left quadricep. So the femur bone is actually moving straight down towards the yoga mat underneath you. Feel how on that left side the lower back starts to engage. The more you can release the weight of the femur down. Last 3. Opposite direction, the right heel pushes up towards the ceiling. 2. And release. Hug your right knee in. Place your right foot flat on the ground, left leg vertical position. Hold the back of your left thigh. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can either just stay as you are or release the right leg down. Press the entire length of the right femur bone. In equal units of energy, as that goes down, the left leg floats up towards the ceiling, out of your hip. Breathe. And now you're gonna bend your right knee and the right leg is gonna go up. Your right hand is gonna slide behind the right thigh. So both legs will now be in the vertical position. Good. Now place your hands down on the ground next to your hips. You can either stay here or come up into shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, pressing your hands, lifting your hips and pushing your legs up, supporting your lumbar with your hands. See how much upward movement you can push through your legs. So even if you're not in shoulder stand, even if you're still with your hips on the ground, you can push the legs up, creating a nice bit of elongation. And now try to come into BODHI Ohana here. So bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Maybe that helps you to bring your hands a little closer to your shoulder blades and to lift your upper back spine away from the floor. So there's always a little mini space between your chin and your chest. Just don't let that chin compress until it touches. Last 3. 2. Now bring your knees to your forehead and rest your knees on your forehead for a couple breaths. If you can, interlace your fingers, elongate your arms onto the mat behind you. And now bring your knees either side of your ears, Karna Pindasana, ear pressure position. Place your hands on the ground flat. Resist slowly, vertebra by vertebra, coming down against gravity. The head will stay completely resting on the floor, so the chin has to maybe slightly lift just a little bit to counteract. And then we're going into Matsyasana, fish pose. Elongate your legs forward. Press into your elbows, arch the upper back. And if you have no neck issues, you can just lightly bring the crown of the head down. Breathe. Lift your head at least a centimeter or two and release your head down. One more time, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. So whatever you might need for Shavasana, you can take, a big cushion underneath your legs, the back of your thighs. You could also take a little pillow underneath your head. Give yourself a couple moments to get your physical body set up and comfortable. Once your physical body has everything it needs to be relaxed, release your breath through your mouth. No more of that choreographed breathing. Restore and rest here in Shavasana. Take your breath back into a smooth, steady pace. As you feel ready, wiggle toes, fingers. And if you're using a cushion, you can bend your knees, place your feet on top, or just bend your knees and place your feet on the mat. And take your arms over your head, stretch and elongate for a few moments. Just breathe here. Bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little gentle side to side rock. You can choose to roll over to one side. Take as much time as you need there in that transition. And use your left hand, push the floor away. When you're ready, come all the way up. And any cross-legged position that you choose is fine. Sitting with your spine elongated, bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And you're going to bring your chin down, gazing towards your heart, your fingertips. Lifting your head, open your eyes. Namaste.